That's at least one special gift, maybe two for this last week. Happy almost Valentine's Day, everyone. For the New River Battalion, I'm Major Daniel Harrison, and you are watching The Torched Ones, the show where the answers to your burning questions and even hotter wings. Today, we're joined by Cadet Ryan Lui. Ryan is born and raised near Los Angeles, California, very close to the stadium for the Rose Bowl, right? All right, close to the Rose Bowl. He is currently an MS3 or junior in Charlie Company for Army ROTC and a cadre sergeant in Mike Company, Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets. Ryan came to Tech to improve as a leader and develop on his path to officership in the United States Army. Ryan says he wants the branch EOD, which is a weird way to spell infantry, but we'll work on that. Interestingly, he has previous acting experience. He's been in commercials for Juicy Juice, Nintendo, and Lumen Skincare. Before we get started?
One thing, I just want to know, are you aware of the nicknames that cadets have for not only you, but some of the other cadre in the New River Battalion?
I have no idea.
Alright, so a lot of the cadets, a lot of MS4s base, I think, they've been calling you Danger Harrison.
My wife's gonna love that.
Yeah,
And so will my brothers. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks.
Danger Harrison. Also, we have Captain Spadini. The MS3s have been going with Spadoinker. Gives him a kind of a little fun little twist. He's a very, cool, kind of mean mugging guy. So Spadoinker just makes him kind of a fun dude. Additionally, we got Sergeant Major himself, Big Choppa. That's based off his license plate. We also have Sergeant Smith. The MS4s have this one, but it's Cadet Frank Vendetti. So those are just some nicknames we have for some of the cadre here in the New River Battalion. I thought I'd bring that up first.
Oh, that's great. Starting off sporty. Okay, you ready to get after it?
Yes, sir.
Or are you going to want to start at this end, unless you want to live life dangerously?
We'll start here.
Here we go. So we were talking ahead of time. It's my wife's rub on the bottom, and then the sauce is on top. So, Ryan, who is your Valentine this week?
My girlfriend Maddie.
Tell us about Maddie. Where's she from? How'd you meet?
She's from Pennsylvania. We met at the VFW volunteering.
Really? What was the event?
Bingo night.
So you guys like turning the bingo machine?
We were selling these little scratcher tickets almost.
Does this have something to do with being a cadet or just?
It was a my company service project. She was volunteering with us.
Okay. And she goes to Tech.
Yes, sir. She's a graduate student.
Okay. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? And why is it Kansas City?
Well, I'm a Chiefs fan. My mother's from Kansas City, so it's Chiefs all the way.
What makes them better than the Eagles?
Patrick Mahomes, greatest quarterback in the league right now. And
Fighting words, I agree with you.
the Kansas City.
What do you want to know?
All right, so what's one thing that you wish you knew as a junior officer? And I don't mean the generic, listen to your NCOs and don't try and make all these changes to you when you first show up. But what's one thing about just life in the Army that you wish you knew?
So your platoon wants you to win. They want to make you successful, and they look at it as we want to set our platoon leader, our lieutenant up to be the best platoon leader in the organization. So they're invested in your success, and the way you can drive that process is just be the best possible leader for them. And they're going to find ways to improve, you. They're going to teach you, they're going to train you, and they're going to depend on your expertise and your ability to think critically to make the organization successful. So it's important to realize you really work for them from the beginning, right? And they're gonna make you successful. So, anything else before the next one?
I think that's all I got for the next one.
All right, it's gonna kick it up a little bit. This is good though. Do you like jerk chicken?
I do.
You should like this.
All right.
Got some friends who make fun of the burger because its pain is good, but that's kind of my philosophy about life. Pain is good, makes you better. So what attracted you to Army ROTC? Why are you here?
Well, I knew from a young age that I wanted to serve, give back to my community, and just help others. And so I was attracted to service from a really young age. And then I think in high school, I just kind of started leaning towards Army because my grandfather served in the Army Reserves back during the Vietnam era. So that kind of pushed me towards Army. I ended up here.
Okay, so why Virginia Tech then? That's a little ways away from home.
Quite a ways away, sir, but I knew I wanted to go to a military college. I was a little bit crazy in high school, wasn't very disciplined, kind of just like doing my own thing. But I knew I wanted to serve, I knew I wanted to be an officer. And I knew that was going to require a lot of growth, a lot of change within myself. So I knew that the regular college experience with ROTC wasn't best for that development. So I decided senior military college would be best. Had it down between Virginia Tech here and Texas A&M. Decided to come here on a whim. It was COVID, I couldn't tour any schools, and decided to come here, and I've loved that decision every day since then.
I have one more question for you. If Captain Dufault was a superhero, who would she be?
Well, I was just Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
Why?
They just have, well, I mean, one, they kind of look like, not gonna lie. And then just the energy. I don't know exactly how to put it, but Captain Marvel.
Okay, how about Sergeant Courtney?
Oh, Sergeant Courtney. I have to think about that for a second.
You can expand, you can go to other fictional characters or historical figures.
Historical figures. Sergeant Courtney, I think, would be like Benjamin Franklin. And now, hear me out. Benjamin Franklin was a goofy guy, but he was really smart, he's intelligent. Sergeant Courtney is very goofy. I love him. He was one of my favorite parts about being an MS2 was having him in class and just hearing from him and learning from every day. He has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge to pass to other people. And he does it in a really funny way. So Benjamin Franklin for Sergeant Courtney.
I'll buy that for the dollar. All right, ready to jump?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is where it's gonna get fun.
Okay.
I think my father-in-law got me this sauce a long time ago, and it's delicious, but it's painful. There's really well with the rub. All right, for this video, I will actually remember to put the rub recipe into the description. So it's pretty simple. Recommend if you want to make wings like this, you bake them in the oven, let them cool, and then you can go to town and add sauce after. So, Ryan, next question. Is Ezra Silverberg your alter ego?
Ezra Silverberg is a different person from me. I'd like to make it very clear to the New River Battalion, Virginia Tech Corps cadets, to everyone involved. This is Cadet Ezra Silverberg. I am Cadet Ryan Lui. We are two different people. I'm glad I have a platform finally to be able to share this, but we are indeed separate people.
We've never seen you in the same room at the same time, so this might require further video evidence.
It's been a little confusing, sir, but I can guarantee we are different people.
Okay. Would you rather be in a 3-gun competition with Master Amphibious or a CrossFit competition with Sergeant Jones?
That's a tough one. I would probably say CrossFit with Sergeant Major.
He's pretty fit. I mean, this is like, who are you trying to beat? You think you can keep up?
I have no shot out shooting at Sergeant Beavis. Absolutely no way. So I think we're looking at odds here. Like, the odds are higher for beating Sergeant Major in CrossFit.
Okay, all right, fair enough. What do you want to know?
So obviously you went to Ranger School, you're tabbed. What's like the craziest story that you have from your time at Ranger School?
I distinctly remember hallucinating from sleep deprivation during the first phase of Ranger School and seeing we're in the middle of the woods in the patrol base. It's like 3 in the morning, pulling security because we're getting ready to go into patrol base ops and rest point. And I distinctly remember seeing a knight in shining armor swinging a mace, walking at me. And I hit my ranger buddy. I was like, "Hey man, do you see that?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? Like, you don't see the knight like 10 meters from us?" He goes, "No." It's like, "Okay, cool." Absolutely awesome. Okay, this is a new sauce to the 3 shop and the MS3 team. It's really good, but it's a step up. So tell me, what is the most fun you've had as a cadet in this battalion?
most fun, I would probably say, was last spring at FTX. We were out at Fort Pickett. We got to use blanks for the first time, and it was, up until that point, the most like realistic training environment I had been in before. And so I had a lot of fun doing that. Just like me and the fellas just messing around, having a really good time running missions. We learned a lot. We also had a good time. We spent the night in the barracks, the final evening, and it got a little crazy in the barracks. We were having some fun and enjoying ourselves.
What did you see? Music?
Nah, no music. We were just shooting it with each other and kind of messing with each other. Nothing too crazy. But it was a good time.
You guys play cards?
Yeah.
Just talk.
Just talk. Me, Cadet Silverberg was there. Me, Cadet Silverberg.
No witnesses.
But yeah, that was probably the most fun I've had.
Okay, so pro tip, you probably want to learn how to play cards because your soldiers will want to play when you're like in the field or when you're deployed, you're waiting in the airport getting ready to go somewhere. A lot of spades, a lot of poker. Yeah. Okay, are you ready to jump up to the next level? You're doing really well so far.
I'm not gonna lie, that last one is a slow burn. Like I ate it, I'm like, oh wow, that's not too hot. But now that it's like sitting in, I'm like, oh wow.
Before we go on, do you have another question before we get to the last ring?
Yeah, just I want to know about you choosing infantry. Why infantry?
I've wanted to be an infantry soldier in the Army since I was a kid. Both my parents served in the Army. You mentioned, some stuff about my dad before. I'm sure a big impact was I was a junior in high school when 9/11 happened, and that made a huge impact on people in my generation. So I was very focused my senior year, 2002, going into 2003 when I graduated, on either going to West Point, where my older brother was at the time, and going on that path with some good advice from my parents that would fit, or enlisting on a Ranger contract. Which, interestingly, I did follow my brother to West Point, who's also an infantry officer in the Army, he's a battalion commander at Fort Campbell right now. My little brother didn't necessarily fit to that lifestyle, but he ended up enlisting as 11 Charlie Waterman in 2nd Ranger Battalion. So between the three of us, we actually all, kind of did all of those things. Interesting.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to, it's funny, be careful. I would recommend, wet your pal a little bit. We're also going to be joined by at least one special guest, maybe two for this last week. But come to the podium. Coming back for a repeat performance,
Forge.
Sergeant Banfield and Lieutenant Wells, former cadet,
Forge, sir.
2023 graduate of the program. They have the same wings. We're all going to do the classic hot sauce pepper X. Cheers. Good luck. Godspeed.
River Forge, cheers.
You're not even service? Now, while that chicken bomb is exploding inside your mouth and your brain, what attracts you to EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal?
It's the idea of being able to help others. Through EOD, not only are there rules and situations where you'll be supporting the infantry, clearing the way for guys, but also situations in which you can clear UXO, unexploded ordnance, from war-torn countries that necessarily have the resources to remove those explosives themselves. And by doing so, I'm sorry, so it's getting real hot. I'm glad I'm wearing the hot weather. That's
You gonna survive, Louis?
I'll be okay. You know me, son. By helping people out in those countries, so civilians can roam their native lands freely.
Were there any leaders you know who went EOD
No, sir.
that have inspired you? Or so how'd you learn about it? What did you do? Advice perhaps to cadets, around you or behind you?
I just, I don't know. I was never quite sure what I wanted to do specifically. I'm very upset. Never knew specifically what I wanted to do. Looked around, saw some enlisted jobs, and then realized that EOD was this really niche community in the Army.
They did a really, really cool job. And I think I saw the hair locker as a kid. I know it's not very realistic, but
Probably the most hated war movie of all time by veterans.
I think that had a little bit of influence in being like, whoa, we're saving bombs. That's pretty cool. That's pretty crazy.
You took a positive message out of it and carried it forward.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Okay. What would you like to ask us?
Sorry, man.
Yes.
What have you learned out of your long career in the Army?
To sum it up in one word, patience. A lot of patience comes along with this guy. Not only dealing with the missions at hand or things that you have to deal with in the military, but like also soldiers. A lot of soldiers come in, you have to exhibit that patience with them, and coach teach them in programs and essentially take your
I'd build on that and say you must learn the art of creating space to make a decision and knowing when it's time to commit. So that should be, especially as an officer, that should be a collaborative process, right? You gotta depend on your senior enlisted advisors, your senior NCOs, to give you candid feedback. But when it's time to go, make the decision, move out, get to the ring of objective. Congratulations on making it to the end. We have a special sound to indicate the end of the painful part of the event. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Torched Ones. For the record, the rebrand was a cadet idea, so keep bringing the ideas to us. I'm looking at Diego Shang, the public affairs officer, who thought of that. Love it. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't forget your loved ones. Make sure you get that card for your mom, significant other, whomever. River Forge United Service. Have a great day.
River Forge, River Forge.
Every time I see you, I wanna say.
Gotta go harder.